Greetings to the students. We are going to discuss the impact of culture on educational institutions now. There are total 6 impacts that we can broadly classify. Let's begin with the first one, which is curriculum. Now, curriculum is prepared according to the culture of society. The system of education tries to realize the cultural needs of society through the curriculum, which conditions all educational activities and programs. The second one is methods of teaching. Culture and methods of teaching are very intimately connected. The changing cultural patterns of society exert its influence upon the methods of teaching. Previously, say, for example, teaching was very teacher centered, but this has changed. Now it has become student centered. The teacher considers the needs, interest, aptitude, attitude, and inclinations of the students before teaching. In this way, education is a method of preparing child for the future, for effective living. In short, we can say that cultural and social conditions generate the methods and techniques of teaching in a powerful manner. The third impact of culture is on discipline. Cultural, cultural values influence the concept of discipline. The present cultural patterns of thinking and living are directly linked to our concept of discipline, where the democratic values are accepted all over the world. The fourth one is textbooks. Curriculum is contained in the textbooks. Curriculum was our very first point. Textbooks are written according to the formulated or determined curriculum. Only those textbooks are welcome which foster and promote cultural values and ideals. The fifth impact is on teachers. Each individual teacher is inhabited with cultural values and ideals of the society of which he or she happens to be an integral member of. Teachers infuse higher ideals and moral values in children. The last one is school, of course. Since school is a miniature of a society, the total activities and programs of a school are organized according to the cultural ideas and values of the society, which establishes and organizes the school. Hence, school is the center of promoting, molding, reforming, and developing the cultural pattern of the society. Let's discuss the impact of education on culture now. We'll begin with preservation of culture. Every country has a distinct culture of its own, hence, it tries to preserve its culture and its distinctiveness in its original form. Education is the only means through which this task can be accomplished. Thus, education preserves the culture of a society and that too exclusively. The second is transmission of culture. The process of preservation includes the process of transmission from one generation to another. Similarly, development of culture, which is the function of education, as education upholds the continuity of culture through its diverse activities and programs. A society establishes schools to preserve and transmit its culture to the coming generations. Then there's development of personality as well. Education aims at developing the personality of a child. It employs diverse cultural patterns of thinking, behavior, and cultural values so that children are physically, mentally, morally, socially, and intellectually developed with the development of society to the maximum extent. Lastly, removal of cultural lag. While material culture develops at a much faster pace due to scientific and technological inventions of non material culture, consisting of ideas, values that lags behind and creates a gulf between the two. Education is the only means by which these gaps can be filled and bridged. Now, moving on, we are going to discuss the role of culture in knowing. We discussed knowing in much details in the unit 1. You must remember that. And let's discuss the role of culture, which will complement knowing. Now, culture plays a very crucial role in knowing in the following ways. So, in the conceptual area, the relationship is characterized by reciprocity, and knowledge defines culture, and culture defines knowledge. Culture also influences the appreciation of processes such as knowledge sharing, development, or knowledge retention. Culture also influences the way knowledge process develop in the organization. The relationship is different in that it concerns which forms how knowledge processes take place. And then it influences vertical knowledge sharing, that is, knowledge sharing in the hierarchy. Fourthly, the degree of knowledge sharing depends on culture. Culture influences the contents of the knowledge sharing process as well. It is an element of the organizational context in which culture sharing takes place. The context stipulates how and when knowledge is shared. And the fourth relationship concerns an indirect relation between culture and the knowledge sharing process. It plays an important role in management model of an organization as well. In other words, the culture affects the acceptance of actively managing knowledge processes by other stakeholders than the knowledge workers themselves. Lastly, we can say that culture guides the way an organization implements its management given an existing management model. In other words, culture stipulates the focus and style of management as well as the actual selection and interpretation of interventions aim at influencing how individuals and groups deal with issues of knowledge. It also stipulates the chances of success of actually specifying and taking management measures. There are 5 ways in which knowledge can be rendered into action: by telling others about the learned knowledge, by taking notes about learning, by incorporating ideas into your routine so that they become a habit and you get to learn more. Then you can also post reminders of ideas everywhere so that you're reminded each time you look at the sticky note. And then you can also keep learning about the topic in continuation so that you're always in touch and you can come across ideas and you can develop your thought further on the same topic. But there are also problems related to knowledge, like, say, for example, explosion of knowledge. If a proper introduction is not given and suddenly it just a lot of information is given without any pretext, but that can be included in the explosion of knowledge and it can be a serious problem. Then there is also plurality of knowledge. And of course, integration of knowledge. The tendency of integration or unity of knowledge is against separation. This needs an integrated approach to subjects. Then there's also the interdisciplinary approach, which cuts across several disciplines to explain any aspect of human environment. Then we also have several specifications with the multiplication of the accumulated knowledge, the issue of specialized knowledge and general knowledge crops up. So these are the problems relating to knowledge. But all of these definitely have solutions which we need to look into. And this was all relating to knowledge, culture, and so on. In the next video, we will discuss about the epistemology, the introduction, and in detail, of course, we will also study educational implications of epistemology, epistemology of Indian philosophies, of Western philosophies, and much detail into the topic. If you have any doubts regarding this chapter or any other chapter or any other unit, feel very free to contact us. The contact details have been provided again and again for your convenience and ease. They have been provided in the description box as well. This class is continued in the next video.